It is hot and rainy, which is making for just the muggiest of weather. Happy May to everyone. Actually, this episode is coming out on May the 4th, so happy May the 4th to all of my Star Wars nerds out there. All right, let's get into it. Take 87. No, just kidding. Take 86. What's good, peacemakers? Welcome back to another episode of the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast. I'm Michael, and this is my crafty corner of the YouTube universe. If you would like to find me on other social media, you can do so by following me over on Instagram and Threads at Piece4PeaceCrafting or over on Ravelry as Piece4PeaceCraft. If you like music and you want to follow along to the playlist that goes along with this silly little podcast, you can do so over on Spotify by following the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast playlist. And if you have trouble finding it, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram and I will send you a link to the playlist. Hello everyone. It's been 2 weeks, which again I think is crazy. I feel like I was just sat here chatting with all of you, and so it's weird to actually be back here. I feel like not much has happened. I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately. Not much has happened, but so much has happened. Yeah, it's like, for me, the winding down season, like school, we're in the final month, really. Because for us, it's only 1 week in June. So like, does that really even count? So basically we just have to get through May before school's out for summer. Yeah, so things have been a little bit hectic around here, but that's all good. All right, so I have a couple things to share with all of you today. Not very much, because again, I feel like I was just sitting here, and also one project took me, we'll talk about it when I get to it, but it was a little, we'll talk about it later. First things first is I want to start with the giveaway. Thank you so much to everyone that reached out for the tufted rug, the sunset rug. Those of you that commented below. I don't have it with me right now, but for those of you who were here last time, you actually, I'll just go and get it 1 second. It literally wasn't that hard. I just had to get up and move 4 feet. Okay, so the last time we were here, I showed you all this cool little tufted rug that my friend made at my birthday party, where we tufted all sorts of rugs. And so a bunch of you commented down below saying that you were interested in it. And the winner of that is going to be, I'm going to put your name on the screen as well while now I have fluff all over me. Kelly Nicole we're going to go with, 9120. From what I remember in her comment, she said that this would look great in her classroom. So I love that you were the random person that was selected, and that hopefully it will be going to another teacher's classroom. We love our educators over in this neck of the woods. So thanks, Kelly. If you reach out to me either on Instagram or you can shoot me an email, I guess, piece4peacecrafting@gmail.com. I can get all of your info and I will send that out to you in the mail as soon as possible. Hopefully this week, sometime. Also, it depends on when you see this and when you get back to me. So that's that. So thanks everyone for playing along. I'm glad that that will go out and someone will enjoy it. I'm having a little decaf coffee and my Prince. Oh my gosh, we're going to talk about this man later on. Actually, let's just do it now. So this episode, I'm not going to have a music recommendation. I'm trying to, I've seen this website before, but for some reason, not for some reason, because it happened, I fell down a TikTok/Instagram Reels music hole within the past 2 weeks. And so I was looking at a bunch of people's, like, them talking about their vinyl collections, how they catalog their vinyl collections, just like to keep track of what's in it and stuff. And so I've seen Discogs before. It's a website, it's also an app, and people were like, oh, I put all of my stuff on Discogs and it just makes it easier for me to like know what I have. It also like says the value of some things if you have like rare albums and things like that. And so I decided to download it, and I'm in the process of slowly, very slowly, because it's a full-time job, cataloging my record collection. And I'm really surprised because I thought I had this one Prince album, and I'm pretty sure I do. I must have just like put it in the wrong place at some point. But it's his first album, For You. Anyway, I was shook when I went to his section and I didn't see it, and I was like, I definitely have listened to this. What's going on? So, excuse me, while I take the time to catalog everything, it may be a little bit, unless I'm just like, oh, okay, this has already been cataloged. Here's what my recommendation is going to be. We're going to put a pause on that for a minute, but that doesn't mean that you can't go over to the playlist and still enjoy all of the music that has been put in there up until this point. I'm really sad because it used to be so fun having you all be able to contribute to that too, but the internet. All right, so let's get into the making of the things. I have 2 FOs and 2 works in progress. So this, for real this time, I think it's going to be a short episode because there's not really much for me to show. So yeah, 2 finished objects, 2 things that I'm working on, 1 thing that I'm going to be casting on soon. So we'll talk about that. All right, let's get into it. So if you watched the last episode, you know that I am going to be taking a sewing class. Actually, starting when you all are seeing this, I'm probably sitting in a class as I speak to you. And before that, I wanted to, like, I've done a little bit of sewing in the past, but I wanted to just like familiarize myself with my machine and just sort of play around with it so that I have some sort of understanding, can do problem shooting, things like that. Like, since it's an older machine, since I really am like actually trying to learn what I'm doing. And so the last time I showed you all an apron that I made, and this time I had some other fabric that I got from a discount section at the Vogue. No, is it Vogue? Yeah, the Vogue Fabrics. It's actually in Evanston, which isn't too far from me. So this was like less than a yard of fabric, and I'll link the tutorial to how I did this. But here's a bag that I made. This, I don't remember the measurements. It's bigger than what it says on the tutorial that I watched, because the woman makes hers out of a men's button-down shirt. And so with that, I had to do a lot of just like measuring and figuring things out because I was like watching the YouTube tutorial, but also like doing my own measurements. Anyway, I didn't have those like woven handles, so I just decided to make some makeshift handles for myself, which I thought was pretty fun to do and figure out. It's a little box bottom, so it's quite large, and it also has a little pouch, or not pouch, but a little drawstring closure at the top. So when I put stuff in it, I can close it up and things won't fall out of it. Oh, there's a thread. That's nice. I'm really excited about this. Oh, one fun thing is I cut whatever this part is, I cut it wrong, or it was too short. And I was like almost at the end, like I had done the little space that the cord was gonna go through and whatever. I was like ready to attach this thing. And then I went to put it onto the bag to sew it and realized that it was too small. And so I just decided to improvise, and I cut what I had in half, and then I measured how much more I actually needed, and so I just made little panels, and so now it's just like 3 panels, which in all honesty, like who cares? It's smack dab in the middle. It looks good. Yeah, I don't care. It's for me, so like who cares? But I'm really excited about it. It's nice to be trying something different. This is way large. It will easily fit a sweater. Actually, I have a start to a sweater whip in here and something else. Oh, an FO, and there's still tons of room in here. So I wanted something big where I could just like throw a lot of things in, sort of like a catch-all bag. And yeah, I achieved it. So I'm really happy with it. I love the fabric. It's so fun. Yeah, I'm really enjoying just like playing around and trying to figure things out. My lines obviously are still terrible, but I'm fine with that. It's like all part of the learning process, and they'll get there eventually. It's just, I'm having a little trouble figuring out how to evenly stay along like whatever my seam allowance is, especially if the fabric isn't cut like so evenly because it moves sometimes. So I'm still trying to figure all that out. I know, yes, I've pinned clips, all the things. No clips yet, but I want to get some. But I have pinned it, and it just seems a little bit weird. So hopefully in this class that I'm taking, they will help me troubleshoot some other things. I'm really excited to dive more into the sewing because it's been very interesting and a YouTube rabbit hole that I've been enjoying falling down. Also, all the social medias, if I'm being quite honest. All right, so that's that. My second FO, which is living actually in this bag, is, you guys, I'm so excited. I finished my Traveler Shawl. It's the front. One second. So I finished my Traveler Shawl. Ooh, it's so good. So this is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. Here I actually have the pattern still here. So that's her version. This is the Traveler Shawl by Andrea Mowry. It's knit up using my hand spun on size US 6s. So for this, I did a combo spin of 3 different braids. One was this is going to be a test. Merino silk and yak. Another one was 100% Targi, and another one was 100% BFL. And so I spun each of those braids on their own, one straight through, one a little bit of a fractal, and then the other one a little bit more of a fractal. So like the repeats got smaller and smaller. And one of the things that I talked about originally with this is I was worried about the amount of white that was in this, But now that it's complete and it's done, I don't mind at all. I think the striping looks absolutely fantastic, and I'm so pleased with it. Okay, a couple of fun things. It smells so woolly. I spun this, and after I'd washed it, I had 308 grams of fiber. And it was about a sport-ish, sometimes fingering, probably sometimes DK, but mostly it's pretty consistent. I would say it was about a sport-ish weight. Now, before I washed it, I had 991 yards. So I'm sure that I lost some within the wash. We talked about this last time. You all gave me some great tips on figuring out how to figure out my yardage post washing, and I have been looking at one of those yardage counters. I think it's from Dreaming Robot. I'm probably going to get one in the near future, just to help me be more accurate with how much yardage I actually have. And so while I was doing this, I'd finished the first section with like a skein and like, let's say 3/4, and so I started the next, which is this smaller section here. You like do a pickup and start building this way with the remainder, and then I was going to have the next ball. So initially I decided I was going to do the smaller version because I was nervous I wasn't going to have enough. And then I had, of course it's not in here. Oh, yes it is. I had some leftover Les Garçons. I don't remember the colorway. This is their, I don't remember. There's no tag with me. But this was like a BFL twist, I want to say. And it's sport weight DK. It's DK, I think. And I was like, oh, I can supplement this with the hand spun so that it evens out and I'll have enough yardage for sure. Well, I got about halfway through the small version, section 2, and realized, oh, I'm not even halfway through my hand spun. Let me just go back and do it with hand spun, and then once I start feeling like I'm gonna run out, then I'll start adding it. So I ripped that back, which is about, well, it was half of that, so whatever that math is. And then I started knitting it on its own, and then I got almost to the end and I was worried about it again, and then I started supplementing with the Les Garçons and started weighing the yarn to see how much, like, as I was decreasing, how much I was actually using. Anyway, it ended up I was gonna have like 11 grams left of my hand spun, and I'm like, okay, well, I just have like one more repeat to do. For the second time, let me rip back to where I started using the Les Garçons, and I will just continue on because I think I'm gonna have enough. And sure enough, in the end, I had 4 grams of my own hand spun left, and I didn't even need it. So without completely hitting the mic, let me just try to put this on for you all. Actually, I'll just do this. So, hold please. I can't see where it is. There it is. So, here it is on. It looks great. I love the color. I still can't believe that, like, I'm gonna move this because this is gonna be annoying. Hopefully you all can still hear me fine. I love the way that it turned out. It just brought me so much joy using my own hand spun finally in like a bigger project. Like, I've only ever used it one other time, and that was in a pair of socks, which I love those socks and they turned out so well, but it was just like, I want something that is just a little bit bigger. And it's cool that I was able to do this with it, and yeah, I can't wait to wear it. I love the drape, I love how it feels, I love the look. It just, yeah, I can't say enough about it. So I have In the last episode, I showed you all some braids that I had gotten from while I was at YarnCon. And a part of me wants to spin those 3 braids to make another one of these, but I might wait on that and decide later. It's like, I don't want to do this pattern again, like right away, although it was fun and kind of fast. Once I stopped ripping back so many times, it ended up being a good time. So maybe that will happen in the future. We shall see. Until then, I will enjoy this one, especially because it's still kind of figuring out its life weather-wise here. I think I probably will have a couple days that I can wear it. If not, I can bring it into the office as we reach the summer months, and I'm going to be in the office more with programming, and it gets cold in there, low-key. So yeah, I can just like have it in the office to wear around there. Good times. Okay, so those are my 2 FOs, sewing project, and I finished my Traveler Shawl. Is like a project on a project, like spinning the yarn to knit it. Good times, we love it. All right, 2 things that I'm working on. One, we'll get this one out of the way really quickly, is I showed you all last time I was working on, or not working on, I finished my Woolens and Nosh, I believe it was January, the January color, club color, the Wes Anderson style. And so I had almost 40 grams left of that, and I decided to start knitting those up, or knitting the rest of it up just as a pair of shorties. So I had a little bit of the 2 cakes left, and so one, I can't remember which one, this one I think, is they both started off the same because I was doing them 2 at a time. Now I'm pulling from the same ball, so one of them is gonna start working the stripes in the other order. Anyway, yeah, in the other order. So like this pink stripe is about to happen again because it's now going in reverse. And then I have this On Your Toes, just like a machine washable, dryable, 100-gram 4-ply sock yarn with aloe vera. So it's 75-25 superwash nylon brown that I'm going to use for the toes and the cuff. No, I lied. I do my socks toe up, so it's not for the toes. For the heel and the cuff on these, all my socks are done on a US 1, 2.25. I do them toe up, Turkish cast on, increase to 68 stitches, go and go and go and go until it's time for me to put the heel in. With these, I'll put the heel in, and then I'll probably just do a couple rows and then do the cuff. If I have enough where I can just like, let's say I mark for my heel and then I can do like 15 rows, I may just do the Rose City Rollers pattern where there is no ribbing. It's just like a rolled top cuff of the sock. I have another pair of those and I do like wearing them in the summer. Yeah, just like around. They're pretty great. So that's that. Not too much to show about it. I will say that my next cast on is going to be, for some reason, I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in this house. My February color. Yikes. So I'm gonna skip, and I'm trying to do them in order because why not? But since I can't find those, I'm gonna do the March colorway, which is Spring Forward by Woolens and Nosh. It's giving me happy vibes, fun times. This is the 90-10 base, so 90% superwash targi, 10% nylon, 411 yards for 100 grams. You all already know. This is the Woolens and Nosh corner. We stand. I'm excited to get these put up. Also, they're my birthday month, so I'm sad I didn't get to do them in my birthday month. But regardless, we're in spring, and so these will be a fun addition to my sock collection. That's what's coming up. All right, my last thing that I'm working on is... All right, so the last time we were here, I was talking to you all about how I like I'm doing things to make sure that my elbow is fine. It still has tiny flare-ups, but I'm managing it. It's all good. Like, I can still knit or whatever. And I was talking about how I wanted to, like, excuse me, I wanted to get a sweater on the needles again because I haven't, aside from that slip over that I made my friend like back in January, baby girl, it's May. I haven't knit a sweater for myself yet this year, and so I wanted to remedy that. Now, if you have been following the podcast for a while, you might know or remember that I have swatched for like 7 sweaters and shown it to you and been like, one day I'm gonna start this. The one day is now, and one of those ones, which I really wanted to do the modern mud cloth because I'd swatched for it back in February and my brain just couldn't wrap its head around all that color work. So I was like, let me put this off till I like have the mental capacity to actually like properly sit and do this. So what I decided to do was pull out a swatch that I had from a while back, which is, don't fall, which was this swatch. And this is using Knit Picks Aloft. So they're mohair in the colorway Labyrinth. And I'm holding it with some wool that I picked up at Rhinebeck. Remember the ghost stall? I don't remember the name. I don't know who they were. To me, they're ghost people. But this was like super discounted. It was like the last day. I think it was $5 a skein or something ridiculous. And it was labeled as a DK, but it's actually a fingering weight. So by holding the two together, I'm actually getting gauge for the Bolt sweater by Maxim Sear, which is a seamed garment with some intarsia and color work on the front of it. And I'm super excited about this. So this is also knit on US 4s and US 6s. And I'm doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm doing the 4th size. So that will fit so many numbers. That will be, oh my god, why can't I find the right number? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's like a 48, 47. Oh, it's up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a 47 and a half is the 4th size. Okay, which bag is this going back into? And so I just cast that on literally just like 2 nights ago. And I just really wanted to get the ribbing done so that I could bring this on the bus with me. Since it's in pieces, it's sort of smaller and I could throw it in my backpack and just like easily work on it. Oh my god, the color. You all know how I love my greens now, apparently. So I've done the ribbing. It was supposed to be 2 3/4. I did 3 inches of ribbing just because I like that vibe. And I've just started the stockinette portion, so I have to do this for a length that's written in the pattern. And then I will start like the armhole shaping and all of that. My plan is you start with the back panel, then I think you go to the front, and then once I get to the sleeves, I'll most likely do those 2 at a time, since that's what I did the last time when I test knit for the officer sweater. That was intarsia, and I did that 2 at a time, and that was 4 balls of yarn going. And so since I'm holding this mohair with this fingering, it'll also be 4 together. And 2, like I want to get the sleeves done, and since they're worked flat, it'll be easy to just like go and have them done. So here's where I am with that. Not very much, but definitely a couple inches into the body of the sweater, and yeah, I'm excited. I feel like since I did the officer sweater and it was my first pieced garment. Yes, I'm pretty sure. And my first intarsia project, I really wanted to do this one. I'd purchased the pattern a while back and was really excited about it, and so I'm excited to finally have that on the needles and working on it. So, you all, that's it. For me, I told you all this was going to be a short episode. Had I not ripped this thing out so many times, I probably would have more to share, but yeah, such is life. And also it taught me to just like, I know like I've definitely ripped back in other projects, but for this one, it really helped me realize like, trust your gut. I was gonna have plenty of yarn. I know like yarn chicken is a thing, but I think I was unnecessarily freaking out when I really didn't need to. And so just like, I actually didn't even feel bad ripping back. Like I would just be like, oh, okay, well, I think I'm like, this will be fine. Let me just rip it out. And I just like sat and I would rip it out and then I start going again, just because the nature of the pattern was really fun and I was enjoying working with something that was mine, that I'd made. And so I don't know, it brought me a lot of joy. So if you have to rip something out, like it's all good. It's just yarn, and yeah, you can get back to the spot that you were at before, so it's okay. Anywho, other than that, I'm going to enjoy my sewing class. So hopefully I have some fun stuff to share with you from that. I'm not sure like how far along. Anyway, it's 4 classes, so we'll see what happens in that class. And I'm excited to get new socks put on the needles and finish up those shorties and to make progress on this sweater, and continue cataloging all of my music so that I have a better database for what I actually have, and then can start sharing more with you all here. So thanks so much for hanging out this time. I know I should have said this earlier. If it was your first time hanging out, feel free to do all that fun YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe. If you've been here for a while and you haven't subscribed yet, but you're just lurking, hit subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, but it helps out the channel to push me out to more people. We are still so close to hitting that 5,000 mark. And so, yeah, that would be so dope if we got there soon. Tell your friends. You would love this. Watch it. Subscribe to it. All right. That's all I have for you all. Take care of yourselves. Stay dry. If it's rainy where you are, get an umbrella. And I will see you all in 2 weeks. Yeah. See you all soon. Until then, make a peace. Spread some peace. Peace.